Okay, I can't believe this, man. I thought it was a joke at first. So, I don't know if I ever said this in the videos. Maybe I have, but I I used to be a Power Ranger fan back in the day. And I found out yesterday that one of the Power Rangers, the actors, he passed away. I mean, at first I thought maybe it was a joke because sometimes people lie about celebrities dying. One time I looked online, somebody said that Michael Jordan died. I went to the store. Oh, because obviously if he died, it would be on the newspaper. But it turned out it was a lie. Another time I saw somewhere that Triple H died. I looked it up. He was still alive. So actually the same thing with this guy. So his name was Jason David Frank, and he was Tommy Oliver in Power Rangers back in the day. So at first I did look him up, and there was no depth date. So I'm like, maybe it's it's a lie. But then I looked on like the Wikipedia. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. There was no depth date. But then I look on like about maybe a couple hours later, and it was depth day. It was like the 20th, which was a couple days after my birthday. But of course, some people are saying that he passed away on the 19th, which would have been a day after my birthday. Man. So he was basically he was one pretty much my favorite Power Ranger. I enjoy watching him as a Green Ranger, then the White Ranger. He's a White Ranger too. Then he was the Red Zero Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger. Yes, I was a Power Ranger fan. I was really into it. I watched Power Ranger for years. But of course, in Power Ranger Turbo, he actually left because he'd been on the show for like 4 years at that point. So I guess the actor was ready to leave at that point, try other things. So he left. Then he came back years later. Like, let's see, he left in like 97 and came back in 2004. So he came back to repress the role with Tommy, but this time he's a teacher, and I watched the show again. And I did watch quite a bit of his videos. He seemed like a pretty cool guy. And I did like that he was a Christian, so yes, he was a Christian. He was on the 700 Club. So he was a believer in Christ. But I was wondering, how did he die? Because he looked pretty healthy. He didn't look like he was sick or anything. Then I'm thinking, okay, maybe he got in a car accident. But that wasn't it. It was pretty interesting though, because about a few years back, some crazy guy did try to kill him. Yeah, it was crazy. But luckily, he didn't die back then. They were able to stop the guy from actually killing him with a gun. And Jason David Frank forgave them, like really fast. He didn't show any anger towards that guy. But they say that he died from suicide, apparently. They don't say how he did it. I'm hoping that they're wrong. I'm hoping he didn't do it. The kid in me wants to believe that he did not take his own life. But apparently he did. So sometimes we do have suicidal thoughts, even when we're a Christian. I mean, I have thoughts of suicide sometimes. Some days I just get frustrated. I just want to end my life. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only person that feel that way. Like people don't understand. But this pretty much made me realize that there's other people that pretty much think the same way. I mean, Jason David Frank, he did not seem suicidal at all. He actually seemed like he was pretty happy with his life. He sounded like he had like some plans going on. So, kind of makes me in disbelief that he committed suicide. But of course, sometimes we just hide things from people. I mean, some people probably don't even know I'm suicidal at times. But the one thing that pretty much stops you from doing the act, I think about God. I think about what happens if I commit suicide and I end up in hell. So is it still possible to go to heaven when you commit suicide? That's one thing I cannot answer, guys. I wish I had the magic answer, but I just don't have it. My friend believes that you go to hell. And many other people do. But I'm hoping Jason David Frank is in a better place. I'm hoping he's in heaven. I mean, he's a pretty good guy. Most people say good things about him, but there have been some people that said negative things about him. But of course, we as humans, we're not perfect. I think there was like one guy who was trash talking on YouTube, but the guy kind of seemed like a jerk too. So maybe that's could have been a reason why Jason David Frank might have been a jerk to him back. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes somebody's a jerk to you. They're a jerk to them right back. And they might perceive you as being a mean person. But I read some comments, people that actually met Jason David Frank, and they all say he's a cool guy. The only person I kind of heard him talk trash about was the Red Ranger, Jason. Austin St. John. That's pretty much the only person I think of that he ever really talked trash about. But of course, later on, it did seem like he did put the hate away. I guess it has like some kind of beat going on when they were younger. I think Austin might have said something. So that's probably might have been what started what I call the beef. But of course, later in Jason David Frank, like the last time I heard him talk about Austin, he seemed to pretty much let the hate go, which is good. I mean, if he let it go, I'm glad he did. I mean, he even stood up for Austin when he got arrested, and he was telling people not trash talking, something like that. It's been a while since I've seen the video. And that's pretty much the last time he talked about Austin. So last time I heard him talk about Austin, he was pretty much sticking up for him, which is good. So if that's the case, I'm glad he let the hate go. So this video is kind of unplanned. I did not expect my favorite Power Ranger to pass away this soon. I mean, he was only 49. Obviously, the character wasn't that old. The character was like 6 years older than me. Yeah, I can't get away my age. The character was 6 years older than me. Because I think I was in the 6th grade when this character graduated high school. But of course, Jason David Frank probably graduated like around 91, 92, something like that. Because he was born in 73. So he's the same age. He's around my older cousin's age. So that's pretty young, 49, pretty young. I mean, my grandmother who is still living, has grandchildren older than that. So just show how young he still was. I mean, we never know when our time's gonna come. I mean, I was hoping that he would play Lord Draken. I was kind of hoping he'd play that character, like in a movie or TV series. In case you wonder who Lord Draken is, it's basically an alternate version of Tommy. It pretty much talks about Tommy, because in like the original timeline in the TV show, after Jason destroyed the Dark Sword, Tommy lost. Tommy was no longer under Rita control. He joined the Power Rangers. But with Lord Dragon, it was the opposite. He chose not to join the Power Rangers. Instead, he ran away and he ended up following Rita. And he ended up becoming truly evil. So they basically took different paths. So Lord Draken is pretty much what Tommy would have became if he took the darker path. Sometimes I do wonder how would my life have taken if I took a different path. I wonder things like that sometimes. What if I had actually balled my fist up and punched one of my enemies? I could think quite a few. Like, what if I actually beat one of them up like really bad? I think about things like that. What turn would my life have taken? So that is basically about it for the video. I just want to point that out. Talk about Jason David Frank. I mean, he was a cool guy. He was one of my favorite Power Rangers. I mean, I don't really see it as much nowadays. I pretty much only watch shit when there's like a reunion with the original Power Rangers. That's pretty much the only time I watch it now. But I used to be really big into it, like in the 90s. And a little bit in the early 2000s. But anyway, if you have like suicidal thoughts, just pray about it. Because you're not alone. Even I have suicidal thoughts. Sometimes I just want to end my life and go to heaven. I just want to just take a gun, point it to my head, and just be in heaven with God. Well, of course, I'm not even sure it works that way. So, I am out. Let God protect you.